Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about 3 ways to improve your public speaking. Now, a lot of us are going to be going around giving either presentations or talking to a large audience, talking to a group of people, maybe as teachers, as trainers, as presenters, or even pitching an idea or a business plan, or even to a senior manager, you're pitching something. For all this, you need to be effective in the way you put across your thoughts and your points of view. So, how do you improve your public speaking? I'm going to be talking about the 3 ways that you can use, the 3 different strategies that you can use to improve your public speaking. Now, the first point will be your structure of your content. Now, a lot of us think that a presentation is more about how I'm going to speak, what I'm going to do, but you have to realize that it all depends on what you are presenting, what you have to communicate with the people listening to you. So your content is very, very, very important for your presentation. Now it's very important for you to remember that you structure your content in the right manner. A good rule of thumb is to divide your piece into 3 different sections. The first being the introduction, second being the body, and third being the conclusion. Very similarly with, maybe you can take letter writing or story writing, for example. It all has an introduction, the main content of the body, and the conclusion. So a good ratio would be having about 10% to 15% as the introduction, then the majority of around say 80% being your body, and the last 10% being the conclusion. Now what comes in these 3 different categories? In your introduction, you have to introduce yourself, who you are as the speaker and why are you speaking. When people are listening to you, there should be a reason why you are speaking to them and why they should be listening to you. So you have to mention that this is who I am and this is why I'm speaking to you. This is my credibility. The second thing is you have to introduce the topic and what you are going to be speaking about. A good thing to do is to tell people that this is going to be the structure of my piece. I'm going to be talking about, if I'm talking about 5 things that you should do to change the environment, tell them that the first one is going to be, this is what we're going to be talking about. So point number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and this is going to be the duration of the talk. During this time, people will not get anxious to get up, and they will not be wondering how long your talk is going to take. So always mention the amount of time that you're going to take and how long this speech of yours is going to be. The body, of course, has all the most important information and all the vital points that you want to convey from your thoughts to the people listening to your audience. Lastly, the conclusion. Make it a point to include a summary in the conclusion. What have you spoken about from the beginning to the end of your speech? All right. Have you spoken about have you spoken to people about anything important? Make sure those points are recapped in the summary. All right. So again, do a complete run through of whatever you have spoken so that people remember and take away the key points. Even if they have missed out on something, the summary will help them retain this knowledge. The second important thing to do is to pay attention to your communication. When you are speaking to an audience, when you are speaking to people, you are actually communicating to a large group of people. So it's very important for you to articulate the words that you are saying, to pronounce the words correctly, to be loud and clear. All right. And at the same time, it's very important for you to pace your talk. Sometimes what happens is either we are thinking too fast and so we are speaking also very fast. And because of this, our audience are not able to grasp everything that we are actually saying. On the other hand, sometimes we might be also thinking very slowly. Thoughts are not flowing as it should in our minds, and so our speech kind of gets draggy. So make sure that you pace your speech. Okay, you have a constant speed pace that you have, and you're not going either too fast or too slow. Make sure that you pronounce the words correctly so that people understand what you are saying and there is no room for them to get lost in your conversation. The next important thing to do with communication is your body language. Quite often what happens is people have amazing things to give out, amazing pieces of information, amazing way of pronouncing, speaking. Everything is very effective. But the problem is they are not very effective in their body language. Maybe their hand movements are constantly like this. Their body is slouched inwards. They're shy. They're timid, and it shows to the audience. People are aware that this person is not open to sharing the information. Make good use of your hands. It's always good to keep a frame. Alright, so above, from your eye level to your sides and the bottom, make sure you move your hands around this space quite often. Use your hands. This is so that their attention is drawn towards you. Another important thing to do is to be effective. If you are standing, do not keep moving from one end of the stage to the other, or from one stage of the podium to the other. Stand in one place and make sure that you are effective in the way you are standing and presenting. Alright. The next one is to engage your audience. When you engage your audience, it's very important for you to also focus on having people interact with you during your talk. Quite often what happens is people do not involve the audience in what they are talking. So they have their speeches very monotonous to a point in time where after the first 20 to 30% of the speech, people start tending to either fall asleep or get distracted or wander away in thoughts. So all these problems are something that people face when they're trying to give a speech. So make sure you engage your audience. You can engage your audience by having activities. If you have the resources and the time, you can have a few activities, get people engaged. Ask questions to the audience. Ask how many people have done this, how many people remember this, how many people do this. Such kind of questions, just by a show of hands, people are kept engaged. You can also use examples in your speech. Whenever you include an example or a story or a life instance, people spend a little more time listening to you, and they actually take back all these instances as a memory. And they relate these examples that you have told to the speech that you have given. Alright? So these are the three ways. Apart from this, also make sure that you're always presenting with a good smile and you're very energetic. You're giving away a positive vibe in your speech. So I'm going to summarize again the three ways to give for an effective public speaking or to give an effective talk. The first one is to structure your content well. Alright, rule of thumb, 10% for the introduction, about 80% for your body, and the remaining 10% for your conclusion. The next one will be your communication. Communicate effectively. You can also include the smiling, the positive body, the positive energy in this. Alright, good body language. And the last one will be to engage your audience. So thank you so much for watching this video. This was today's 3-way show to help you grow. See you in the next video. Have a nice day.